What an honor it is to be able to speak to my parents and to everyone here regarding my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary. An event like this doesn't come across very often in life, and give you an opportunity to honor your parents and honor an event like this. So very, very happy to be able to say something today, and I want to just take a moment to say thank you and thanks for the inspiration that you provided to my marriage. Some of my fondest memories growing up was involving my parents. Their dedication to me, their interest in me. They always took time to be involved in every aspect of my life, from sports to girlfriends to time with friends. And they always took time to sit down and show interest in me personally, and listen to me when I needed an ear. And I just can't say how much I appreciate the dedication and involvement they've showed in my life. Mom and Dad, you've taught us with a firm hand and a loving heart throughout the years, and you've been able to provide through your marriage dedication, hard work, a no-quit attitude. When times got tough, you pulled closer together. You showed us what it was like to see what tough times can do to bring a family closer together and not separate them. And I admire your hard work and your dedication to our family, and seeing us grow up and showing us how much you loved us. You know, Mom and Dad, you've always taught us that vows and commitment are very important to you. And when we got married, we took vows very seriously. I heard many times Mom would speak about her vows to Dad and how they were a commitment and they were a promise to not only Dad but to God. I look to find in my wife somebody that would honor me and show me the same commitment in our vows. Susan has done that now these 20 years, and I believe she'd like to say something about those vows and commitments.
The vows we said to each other were to have and to hold, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. These are the vows we have seen you fulfill for these past 20 years that I've been a part of your family. Thank you very much for your example to us. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. We love you.
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. I'd like to thank you guys for showing us a great example of marriage and dedication to each other over 50 years, 40 of which I've watched up and down, sacrificing and giving to your family. I want to thank you for showing me how to be a good wife and mother and to support my family. I love you both, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Mom and Dad, I want to thank you for everything you do for our family and wish you a happy anniversary. Congratulations on this milestone. Today is all about you guys and the commitment you've had to one another over these 50 years of raising your daughters and your son. I'd like to thank you for always putting everyone first, your kids, your grandkids, to all their needs, and always being there for us. Happy 50th wedding anniversary.
When I think of you, Mom and Dad, I think of two things. I choose to think about the positives of people, and these two come up all right automatically, don't even have to really think about it. And that is, first of all, how family-oriented you are. No matter, it's everything you think, you say, you do, it's obvious that the family's in the middle of it. And then the other thing is just how no matter what trials, what troubles you come across, you have ups and you have downs, but you just stick together and just fight your way through it and just keep on going together. And those are two things that I think about and that I'd like to emulate in our family between Tammy and I. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad, when I think about you guys, I think about how much of a servants you are, what you do for people. Whenever I need you, I can call you and you'll come. Whether it's coming to pick me up to go get the car, or I need help with groceries or whatever, you're there. And you're not just that way with me, you're with everyone, the whole family, and people you don't even know. I even remember a time when Dad picked up people on the side of the road. Their car broke down, and he brought them home to spend the night so that they would have a warm bed to sleep in. And I think about also that you guys don't give up. No matter if Dad's away when he was in the military, he would come back and you guys would have to rework the whole, housing structure again. You would never give up. You would just plow on through. It was never a question. Your love, just like for each other, just was always there. Even times when I know you guys were upset at each other, I still could tell you loved each other, and I never worried about that. So the most thing I think about you guys are that you serve people and others and family, and that it's really important to you to finish what you start. So I get from you that I don't quit. That's just what I got from you. Thanks for loving us, Mom, Dad. We love you.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Congratulations on 50 years of marriage. I've been honored to be there for most of those 50 years and have a lot of takeaways that I could talk about today. But just several things I wanted to bring forth for everyone here to share. First of all, I'm proud of you for staying married for 50 years. The divorce rates being what they are today in America, I've read statistics that say that military families divorce at 2 and 3 times that rate. And so I'm very, very proud of you for staying married for 50 years. Did a little acrostic for each of you to give you my takeaways from what I've seen and heard and learned from you in marriage. And I just wanted to share those with you. Mom, let's start with you. The first M that I have is for modest. You're very modest in your appetites, very modest in the way you present yourself. It's always about others. It's always about your family first. And we have learned from that. It's a challenge to be as modest with our giving and just the way we present ourselves as you are. The O stands for orchestrator. Whether it was Dad that said what needed to be done in our family or it was the U.S. Army that told us what we had to do, you orchestrated all the details and made it happen. And you're a master orchestrator, very organized, and I appreciate that fact and that quality in you and have tried to imitate that. The last M is for be motivated by love and by commitment. It was always love of your husband, love of your family that kept you going, got you up in the morning and spurred you on. But it was also a love for God and the promises that you made to Him. You didn't have a First Baptist church growing up, and you didn't have a lot of things that I had, but you did have a mom that taught you that vows were sacred to God, and you taught us that too, that when we make a vow, it's a promise to God. It's not a promise necessarily to each other, it's a promise to God, and we've learned that. Dad, the very first letter that I have for you is D, and that is for design. You were pretty much God's blueprint for me, for God, to know God in my life. You were the first picture of God I ever had, and you loved your family, you protected your family, you provided for your family. And because of all of those things, I was ready to receive God when He spoke to me. He sounded a lot like my dad when the first time I ever heard God, and I responded to Him as you taught me to respond to you. A is for attitude, and that's probably one thing you had to correct me on most growing up, and appreciate that. But your attitude was always a can-do attitude. Never heard you complain about getting up to run in the morning with the military. You got up, as far as I know, at 5 o'clock every morning, and you just knew how to get things done. If something was broken, you fixed it. Just nothing seemed to stop you. The last D, I was tempted to say, is for dictator, but we won't go there. Just kidding, sort of. No, the last D is for dedicated. And Dad, you are dedicated to your wife and to your family and to whatever you put your hand to. You've done it with all your might. And I appreciate that about you, and I love you, and I thank you. Thank you for staying married for 50 years. Can't tell you what an example that is to me, and if we can do as well as you've done, we'd be very happy. And we hope to build on what you've taught us. I love you.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad Harper, on 50 years. I appreciate you for your giving spirit. Over the 27 years that I've known you, I've seen consistently a giving spirit towards your family. I remember when you gave us a car, and very unexpectedly, and I really appreciate that. And then I think you gave us our very first computer, and I appreciate that. And just the multiple times you come over to your house and you're giving me clothes, and I just usually way too big for me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I appreciate Mom and Dad how you give of your house. Your house is nice, but it's not a museum. It's not where you collect relics, and it's a house that's used for family to have good time. And I appreciate how you give of your house, and then I also appreciate how you give of your time. I cannot think of one time where we've asked you guys to do anything where you were too busy for us. And I'm so grateful for you giving us time. You're such giving people, and I so appreciate your example of giving. Happy 50th anniversary, Mom and Dad Harper.